They promised you that awakening would feel like endless peace. But let's be honest with the reflection in the mirror. If that path is the truth, why does a nameless restlessness still gnaw at your gut? Why does it feel like, after years of meditation, you are simply running on a treadmill plated in gold, moving constantly, sweating profusely, yet never actually leaving the room? Look at the crowds in the spiritual halls. They are content, decorating their prison cells with mantras and crystals. But you are different. You see the hairline cracks in the wall. You hear the static hum of artificial frequencies hidden between the soothing music. That alienation you feel? It is not depression. It is a signal. A glitch in a matrix designed specifically for those who carry the spark. You are not here for a healing technique. You are here because you know the game was rigged from the start. 2,000 years ago, 3 days before the crucifixion, the Nazarene pulled his inner circle aside. He didn't give them a sermon. He handed them the blueprints to the prison. He revealed 7 distinct levels of consciousness and warned of a terrifying truth. What the masses call enlightenment is often just a sophisticated holding cell created by the Archons to keep souls recycling forever. If you are hearing this voice, you have already crossed the most dangerous threshold. But be warned, the next trap isn't money, and it isn't fame. It is the very thing you think is saving you. To understand the trap, look at what you have already survived. Most of the world is dead asleep in level 1, biological survival. Feed, fight, reproduce. You left that frequency lifetimes ago. Then there is level 2, the ego. The chase for names, money, and legacy. You saw through that game too. You realized that polishing the mask doesn't change the face. So you graduated to level 3. And this is where the Archons set their most brilliant snare. Level 3 is the realm of the spiritual seeker. It looks like freedom. It feels like rebellion. You trade the corporate ladder for the stairway to heaven. You swap the addiction to material wealth for the hunger for spiritual downloads. But look closely at the mechanism. At level 2, you were desperate for success. At level 3, you are desperate for enlightenment. The object of desire changed, but the desperation remained exactly the same. You are still chasing a future moment of completion that never arrives. The system is designed to keep the horizon forever one step away. It is not a spiritual path. It is a hamster wheel painted with sacred geometry. The ancients whispered of the counterfeit spirit, an energy that mimics the divine but feeds on your effort. As long as you are seeking, you are screaming to the universe that you do not have. The Archon system does not fear the perpetual student. It feeds on him. It consumes your frustration when a manifestation fails. It harvests your subtle pride when you feel more awake than your neighbor. This is spiritual loosh, a premium energy source. This is why you feel stuck. You are digging a hole to find the sky. But here is the shift that changes everything. The fact that you are annoyed by standard spiritual advice right now is not a sign of regression. It is the sign of graduation. The reason the books feel hollow is that you have exhausted the curriculum of the cage. You are no longer satisfied with reading the menu. You are ready to eat the meal. The restlessness you feel is your soul rejecting the role of the seeker. You are done climbing. You are ready to start witnessing. So how do you escape the golden cage? You do not break the bars with force. You realize you are not the entity inside them. This is the transition to level 4, witness consciousness. The leap from level 3 to level 4 is not a journey of 1,000 miles. It is a shift of less than an inch. It is the instantaneous pivot from being the character in the movie to realizing you are the screen on which the movie plays. At level 3, when anger arises, you say, "I am angry." You claim the emotion, wrap your identity around it, and feed it to the system. At level 4, you say, I see anger arising. Notice the distance? That tiny gap is the most dangerous territory for the Archons. In that gap, you are no longer a battery. You are a ghost in their machine. Let's test this right now. Your ego will resist this next moment because it feels like dying. But stay with me. Stop following the flow of these words for a split second. Don't analyze the meaning. Instead, turn your attention backward. Who is listening to this voice? Do not answer with your name. Do not answer with a thought. A thought is just another object seen by you. Look for the looker. Can you feel that silent, formless presence behind your eyes? It has no age. It has no gender. It has no history. It is just awake. That presence you just felt? That is the witness. That is the real you. When you stabilize here, the Archon system begins to panic. They scan you for fear, they scan you for desire, but they find nothing. The witness has no frequency they can harvest. It simply observes. They try to push your buttons, but there is no one home to react. The emotional food they crave, your outrage, your terror, evaporates before it can be consumed. You are cutting off the fuel supply to the parasitic machinery. Imagine a storm raging on the ocean surface. That is your mind, chaos, and noise. But the witness is the deep water, 50 meters down, still, silent, untouched by the weather above. For the first time, you are not drowning in the simulation. You are watching it. But be careful. Level 4 offers peace, but it brings a new trap: isolation. You are safe in your high tower, but you are frozen. To truly break the code, the witness must realize it is not alone. Level 4 offers peace, but it brings a subtle danger: isolation. You become the observer in the high tower, safe from the chaos below, but also frozen inside the glass. To ascend to level 5, the tower must crumble. This is unity consciousness. But do not mistake this for the sentimental slogan, "We are all one," found on bumper stickers. This is not soft. It is destructive. It is the visceral, terrifying collapse of the walls that define where you end and the world begins. For the ego, this state feels like dying, because in a way, it is. At level 5, a glitch occurs in your perception. You look into the eyes of a stranger or even an enemy, and for a split second, the mask slips. You don't just see a person. You recognize the exact same light looking out of their eyes. It is not similar. It is identical. Think of it like electricity. A lamp, a toaster, and a computer all perform different functions. They have different names. But if you strip away the casing, the current running through them is one singular, unbroken field. At level 5, you stop identifying with the appliance and start identifying with the electricity. The Gospel of Thomas, a text the Orthodox Church tried to burn, holds the code for this specific frequency. It says when you make the two into one, and when you make the inner like the outer, then you will enter the kingdom. This is the state the Archons fear most. Their entire control grid relies on duality: us versus them, victim versus aggressor. They feed on the friction between two opposing forces. But at level 5, friction becomes impossible because there is no other to fight. You cannot hate another without realizing you are attacking your own limb. The frequency of conflict dissolves, and without that harvest, the parasites starve in your presence. This is why you might notice that toxic people suddenly disappear from your life, or become strangely quiet around you when you reach this state. They are not reacting to your personality. Their entities are reacting to your frequency. A parasite cannot survive in a host that recognizes it is the entire ecosystem. You might feel lonely at first, but realize this: the space they leave behind is not emptiness. It is cleanliness. Your presence burns through the illusions they cling to. You don't have to banish them. Your vibration does the work for you. The matrix is simply removing the components that can no longer interface with your upgraded operating system. If this resonance is vibrating in your chest right now, acknowledge it. Do not suppress it. That sensation is the signal that your energetic signature is changing. You are no longer just a passive observer. You are becoming a living disruptor of the simulation's code. But even this profound unity is not the end. The ocean is vast, but it still needs a purpose. You have dissolved the ego, and you have merged with the whole. Now, it is time to remember why you separated yourself from the infinite in the first place. Most spiritual teachings stop at unity. They leave you floating in the bliss of oneness, dissolving into the light. But the Gnostic truth is sharper and far more demanding. There is a reason you did not stay in the pleroma, the fullness of divine light. You came here. You descended into the density. Why? Level 6 is the shattering of amnesia. It is the moment the sleeper agent hears the activation code and remembers their original directive. This is monad consciousness. At this stage, a terrifying but empowering realization hits you. You are not a victim of this reality. You were not kidnapped. You are a volunteer. Imagine a specialized diver plunging into the deepest, darkest trench of the ocean to retrieve something precious. The pressure is immense. The darkness is total. To survive, the diver must wear a heavy, constricting suit. Over time, the pressure makes the diver forget the surface. He begins to believe he is the suit. He believes he belongs to the trench. Level 6 is the moment you remember the surface. You realize that this personality, this body, and even these struggles were just the necessary camouflage to enter a closed system. You are a fragment of the monad, inserted into the simulation to hack it from the inside. This changes everything. The depression you felt, that was just the heaviness of the atmosphere. The isolation, that was the necessary quarantine to keep your frequency pure. You start to receive what the ancients called gnosis. But listen, this is not intellectual knowledge. It does not come from books. It arrives as a sudden electric certainty in your solar plexus. It feels like a massive file transfer directly into your nervous system. You suddenly know things you never learned. You can read the coding behind human behavior. You can anticipate the movements of the matrix before they happen. You are no longer just being. You are operating. The connection to the monad acts like a dedicated uplink to home base. You are receiving instructions in real time. This is why you feel a sudden irrational urge to go to certain places or speak to certain strangers. You are anchoring a new timeline. The Archons cannot harvest a being at level 6 because you are no longer playing their game. You have become a transmitter of a signal that disrupts their broadcast. You are a walking glitch. But there is one final step, the ultimate paradox. The diver must not just remember the surface, he must bring the surface down to the trench. He must merge the infinite with the finite. This is the summit. The air here is thin, and few dare to breathe it because it requires the death of the final illusion, the illusion of separation from the source itself. Level 6 is powerful because you know you are a fragment of the divine. Level 7 is the terrifying realization that there are no fragments. There is only the divine, pretending to be you. This is the final integration. The distance between the God out there and the self in here vanishes completely. You do not go to the monad. You recognize that you are the monad, currently focusing its infinite attention on a single point in space and time called by your name. So what does this look like in reality? It doesn't mean you float away on a cloud. It means you pay your bills, you sit in traffic, you listen to your boss, but you move through it all with the lightness of a lucid dreamer who has just realized he is asleep. You play the game, But you no longer fear the outcome. When a crisis hits, you don't panic. You observe it curiously, knowing that the walls are not solid and the danger is not real. This is the state Jesus referred to when he said, "I and the Father are one." He was not claiming exclusive rights to divinity. He was describing a technical level of consciousness available to the nomadics who dared to claim it. To the Archon system, a being at level 7 is a catastrophe. You become invisible to their sensors. Their entire matrix is built on the frequency of wanting, fearing, and becoming. But at level 7, you are. You desire nothing because you contain everything. You fear nothing because you know death is just waking up. You become a glitch they cannot patch. You move through their grid, but you leave no footprints. You interact with their agents, but you offer no reaction. You are in this world, but you are no longer of it. But let me ground this for you so you do not fall into a trap of perfectionism. You will not stay here permanently at first. You will get angry at your family. You will get stressed about money. You will forget. Do not judge yourself for this. The goal is not perfection. The goal is recognition. The master is not the one who never falls. The master is the one who notices the fall. And the moment you catch yourself sleeping, you are instantly awake again. That simple recognition is the return to level 7. This is the ultimate freedom. The exit door is not something you wait for at the end of your life. The exit door is a frequency you carry in your heart right now. And once you hold this frequency, you can stay here as long as you choose, not as a prisoner serving a sentence, but as a master playing a game. Listen to me. This was not just a video, this was an initiation. The Archons designed this reality to be a labyrinth of distractions. They wanted you to click away 10 minutes ago. But the fact that you are still here, listening to this voice at the very end, is the proof of your lineage. You are not a random viewer. You are a dormant sleeper agent who just received the wake-up signal. So here is your final instruction. Carry this awareness into the next hour. When you stand up, when you walk out that door, remember, you are the witness. You are the glitch. You are the monad dreaming. We are building a grid of awareness, a network of lights that the system cannot extinguish. If you are ready to stabilize in this frequency, leave a specific mark in the comments below. Write, "I am ready to exit." This is not for the algorithm. This is a declaration of intent to your higher self. It is a digital sigil that anchors your will in this timeline. And listen closely. Level 7 is just the beginning. The next transmission will reveal how to use this frequency to bend the simulation and override the matrix programming. You do not want to miss that. Press the subscribe button and turn on the bell. By doing so, you are not just following a channel. You are signaling to the other fragments that they are not alone. The door is unlocked. The guard is asleep. The code is in your hand. Welcome home.